What a Catch! Part 12. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction. If you have not heard the previous 11 parts, you can find a link to them in the description box below. Alya laid on her bed, watching the ceiling fan spin as she waited for her husband to get home from a gig. It had been forever since the Ladybug had blown up like it did the day of her wedding, when Cat Noir and Ladybug herself dropped by, and she was still kicking herself for being too drunk to capture it all. She and Nino were doing okay financially, but she'd be lying if she said she couldn't use the ad revenue that Ladybug could stir up. That, and her pride was hurt because Lila got the latest scoop. A photo of Adrien aggressed, Ladybug, and Hawkmoth at the park together last night. It had been a good 12 hours since the city blew up in fear of Hawkmoth, but she hadn't heard anything from the mottle-faced boy. Didn't Adrien realize that she's the first person he should go to if he had any dirt on the superheroes from their high school years? She groaned and rolled over as she heard the doorbell ring, glancing around the room to look for pants. If it had been Nino, he would have walked right on in and she wouldn't have cared, but being mostly naked around an ill-timed delivery would not be the highest point of her life. She waddled to the door, wiggling to get the button on the waistband closed, and peeked through the eyelet. To her surprise, the one and only Adrien Agreste stood on the other side. "Jackpot," she whispered, opening the door. "Hey, Alya, is Nino home?" he asked. "No, but I'm happy to listen to anything you have to say." "You saw the news, then." "And I need an exclusive. What do you got?" He sighed and walked over to the kitchen table to take off his coat. "This isn't about that, actually." "It isn't?" She furrowed her eyebrows and went to the cupboard to grab some glasses. "Lemonade or orange juice?" "Just water is fine. This is about Ladybug, however." "It is? I knew it!" she smirked, turning on the tap and filling their glasses. "So, what's the scoop?" "Again, Alya, this isn't about the headlines. This is about the question you were never able to answer." "I'm not following." "I need to know who Ladybug is." Had Alya started drinking, she certainly would have sprayed water all over Adrien as she choked in surprise. He was hanging out with the girl just yesterday, and only now wants to know who she is? No, not fair. She had been looking for answers for 10 years, and there was no way he was going to learn Paris's biggest secret by pure, dumb luck. "You and me both, kid," she said, rolling her eyes. "I've been dry for years." "But I have something you don't." "Oh yeah? What's that? A midnight rendezvous?" "A clue." Alya set her glass down and leaned back in her chair, unsure of how to respond. She had heard that word from a lot of people over the years who were trying to swindle her out of money. "Oh, really?" she sighed, raising an eyebrow. "Say it's a lead. It's the first lead I'd have in years, and then some. Why do you want to know?" "Is that relevant?" "There's a reason she's protecting her identity, Adrien. I can't let her efforts go to waste." "I need to protect her." "Protect her? From what? She doesn't need anyone else. Between her powers and Cat Noir, she has nothing to worry about. Even Hawkmoth can't get to her." "Cat Noir might not be able to take the hit from this one." "Really? Why's that?" "Because he doesn't have his powers right now, but Hawkmoth's going to attack in 2 days." She leaned forward, shocked by his words. "What do you mean?" "Let's start someplace a little simpler, shall we?" he sighed, glancing at a message on his phone. "Last night?" "Last night." She listened as Adrien told her about what had happened in the park. how Hawkmoth had shown up with an akumatized civilian and the deal Adrien made with him. "Oh dear," she whispered. "Do you think Cat Noir would go with it?"
"I've already talked to him about it."
"To Cat Noir?"
"Yeah. I know him personally."
She watched as he fidgeted in his seat, clearly anxious and uncomfortable. Adrien knew Cat Noir? Since when? Was he bluffing for attention? No, Adrien wouldn't do that, she thought. But what's his angle? And how did he find out? "Say I believe you," Alya sighed. "Say you really know Cat Noir. Why doesn't he have his powers?"
"That's,"
he began, huddling into his sweater like a cat hiding from a fox.
"It's complicated. Can we get back to Ladybug?"
"For now. So, what's your clue?"
"She was at your wedding."
Alya groaned and rolled her eyes. "That's all you've got? All of Paris knows that."
"As a guest."
She perked up in interest. "Like, as a civilian?"
"Yes."
"Okay, I'll bite. As a +1 or the guest list?"
"She was a classmate of ours and received an invite."
"She was our classmate?"
That was my reaction too.
"And on the guest list?"
That's what she told me.
"You talked to her? When?"
At the wedding.
"How?"
I walked up to her. Sober.
"Do you want to fight, punk?" she asked, frowning at his jest towards her love of Bellinis.
"Never mind the matter.
I need your help narrowing down the guest list and cross-checking who was akumatized." "I can get you the guest list, but Adrien," Alya sighed, "what you're looking for is illegal. The government took down all of my posts with Akuma victims in them because of the protection laws." He sat up straight, a serious look in his eyes.
"Alya."
His voice was different, colder than his usual bubbly self.
"I know you kept backups. Find out who was akumatized for me."
"Where are you going?" she asked, watching him stand up to put on his jacket.
"I have a date. I'll talk to you tonight."
"Adrien, wait!"
"Tonight."
Alya sighed for what felt like the millionth time that night. That aggressed boy knew more than he was letting on, but that didn't matter at the moment. He had given her what she needed. She pulled out her cell phone to call the person who could help her the most. "Hello, Chloe? It's Alya. We need to talk." Thank you so much for listening. This was a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction. Part 13 is on its way. In the meantime, you can check out the video below for more fanfiction. I'll catch you next time.